Hello YouTube family, welcome to my video on my spring and summer top palettes that I use. During the spring and summer I like to switch over a little bit to a little bit brighter colors, a little bit more bold color, a lot more color, and they are ones that I just kind of gravitate towards, and I find that I can do really simple, easy looks that are really super interesting with more color. And I thought these are the best ones that I completely switch over to, and I find myself using so much more in the summer and the spring. So I want to show those to you today. But before we get started, please subscribe if you're not already. I'd love to have you here as a part of the channel. I do beauty videos for mature women on Monday, Thursday, and Saturdays, and I usually upload between 4 and 5 in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. So I hope that I'm going to be able to keep to that schedule. That's the second time I've said that out loud. So we are going to keep our fingers crossed, and we're going to go with it. So if at any time during the video you guys find that you're enjoying the video, would you please give me a thumbs up? It really does help me a lot, and I appreciate you doing that so much. The next one that I'm going to recommend to you is from Raine. Now you guys have to forgive me, it'll go up on the screen. I can't remember the name of this, and because this was an empty Z palette and I put the colors in there myself, the single pans, this wasn't a named palette, but she does have this now where they actually do have this in a palette form. So I wanted to definitely show you what it is these are all mattes, but they are such saturated, gorgeous colors. And if you are one that wants to venture into the color world, but you don't really want to like wear a lot of, you know, bright color glitter colors on your lid, this is a good way to go, because not only are these really saturated, really easy to blend, and they're matte, but they can also be sheared out if you want them to. Like I'm going to show you right on the top here. I'm going to just run my hand across there and shear out that green. Now wouldn't that be so pretty on your lid with just, you know, your regular eye color? It is one of those palettes that just really screams to me spring and summer. I don't work with this one nearly enough. I worked with it a few times before fall came, and then I kind of put it to the back of my collection. But I love this, and it's definitely coming out for the summer. Okay, my next one is from BH Cosmetics. This is the Ultimate Artistry palette. The colors are so pretty in here, you guys. And what I do love about this one is that this one can be used year-round. This doesn't have to be a summer palette, doesn't have to, well, none of these do have to be a summer palette, but it's not really like got super deep colors so you think of the fall, or it's not got the super bright colors so you only think of the spring. But it has enough of the neutrals that whatever look you choose, you're gonna be able to achieve. And I really love, more than anything in here, I love the matte formula. The matte formula was really good in here. The shimmers were every bit as good too, but I was really pleased with the matte formula and how well it did. So here is just a sampling of those colors right here. Beautiful bright purple. I just love that purple in here. The pinks are just so pretty. I love this peach color over here, so gorgeous. And then these two teal colors, and then the blue, just really, really beautiful for spring and summer. And then if you need to go into smokier for the evening, you've got that you can just deepen your look up a little bit with. But if you need to just stick right in the area of having the neutrals, you have that too. This is a really good palette. I've really enjoyed having it in my collection. The next one up is from Makeup Revolution. This is the Emily Noel The Wants palette. Didn't she do a good job of this one, you guys? She just really did. Huge palette, but it has a mirror in it too, which I think is so great. The colors in here, okay, let's say that you're saying to yourself, Melissa, I cannot pull off those. I don't feel comfortable in those bright colors. This palette would be perfect for you to try color, because not only did Emily include everything you need to do an absolutely beautiful neutral look on your eyes, she gave you the beautiful, beautiful colors too. So these are just so pretty to be able to venture out without having to dive into the super bold, brilliant colors in some of these other palettes. And it still gives me those spring and summer vibes when I look at it. She did such a good job on picking these colors out. I just really love this one, and I think that anybody that has been looking for an interesting palette that goes outside of the norm, as what we're seeing right now with all the berries and the reds, I think this is for you. My next pick is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. This palette is so loved by me, you guys. It's a mess, but there is such an interesting array of the way that she picked these colors out. You get all mattes up here, and then you get all shimmers down here. And even though you look at it and you go, okay, this looks more like just a neutral palette, when you get into those colors and you use those colors, They are just, they're so pretty on the eyes. They can be used all over the eyes, even though they are those pops of color. You could take that plummy purple right there and you could run that in your crease and it would be so pretty, even as, you know, a color look. But they have the other brighter colors too. This one, I love everything about it. So I wanted to recommend that to you. And if you never have had the chance to try any of her shadows, you're in for a treat because they blend like a dream and they are super duper saturated. They're so gorgeous. The next one I want to recommend to you is the Makeup Revolution Soph X palette. This is her original one, and then she had the Extra Spice one, but this one is the one I would recommend. The reason is because this one to me stands out as not your everyday neutral. And I really wanted to put something in here that you guys could look at and go, okay, that's pretty much a neutral palette, and that's what it is. But these right here are the colors that I chose to show you that you would have the pop of color on. So if I'm just wanting to do like an everyday look where I'm like, okay, I want to do 2 colors out the door, or I want to do 1 color out the door, this is the palette that I reach for. So I just feel like if you're looking for an economical palette, you're wanting to do something fun and different, and you just want to pick up something that's not going to break the bank, this would be a really good one for you to try. Okay, the next one is the Tarteist Pro, or Tarteist, however you say it, the Pro Remix palette. I had the original one. I didn't like that formula. I just couldn't get on board with it. But this one is all kinds of fun, you guys. I love this palette. Now, you might not like it because there really is only 3 mattes in here. There is the white or the cream color. There is like there's like this cool brown color right here that's such a good transition shade. And then there's a black over here. But these right here are the pops of color that I choose and I use most often. My favorite color out of this whole palette is this color right here. And it doesn't look like it's a green in there, but it's the bottom one right here. And it is so pretty all over the lid. It's my favorite green I've ever found. It's so beautiful. And it's the one that I'm about to hit pan on in here. But the colors in here, even though they're all shimmery, they do have different finishes. So you're gonna find metallics, you're gonna find shimmers, and then you're gonna find just kind of more along the lines of satin colors. It's beautiful. I really didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I do. It does have the cocoa-y vanilla smell that we get from Tarte from some of their palettes, which I don't mind. Some people that bugs. I think it's kind of nice. I love the packaging on it. It's super heavy duty, high end. So if you were to throw this in a suitcase to travel with, I think that it would, you know, fare very well. And it does have the nice mirror in there, which I do like how big that mirror is, goes across the whole palette. That is one that I would very highly recommend, but please remember that most of the shades in there are the shimmery colors in there, but that's why I love it. Okay, the next one is the It's My Pleasure palette from Colourpop. When I first got this palette, you guys, I could not put it down. It has such beautiful purple and pink colors, and they weren't ones that I had anywhere else in my collection. Like the second one from the bottom, that purple is so gorgeous. And I'm a big fan of Colourpop's formula. I just love it. And I did hear somebody very recently say that they didn't like this palette, and I think it was because of her coloring. She was a little bit more along the lines of a little bit olivey coloring. But for my coloring, and if you're somebody that likes berries and purples and that kind of thing, oh wow. For me, this one, I just used it over and over and over again. And again, the size of this palette and how compact it is, I like that a lot, you guys. I think it's really great. I would like to pick up a couple of these other palettes. I like that they did this plastic packaging instead of the cardboard. Again, I think for travel that would be really good, and I think it's gonna hold up a little bit better than the cardboard ones do. So I would really recommend that one to you. Okay, my last palette to talk about, you guys, today. You knew it was gonna be a Juvia's Place palette. The Douce palette to me seems to scream spring. Let me tell you, if you've never tried any of Juvia's Place palettes, please do. Please venture out there because you guys are not going to be sorry that you did. I have almost every single palette they've ever made, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am that they came out with these, because you can experience a very high-end formula without the price tag. These palettes are full of just dreamy, gorgeous, beautiful, saturated colors that go on your eyes. They blend like nothing I've ever seen in a really long time. Even my Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I adore that formula, this formula for me beats it. And I don't say that lightly. I think that this Douce palette It's got these spring colors in it, and it's so gorgeous. It has that pastel vibe to it, but at the same time, you're still getting just enough neutral to work into that look too. And this saturated cocoa down here, this deep chocolate cocoa, I love that color. It's so gorgeous. So saturated. I can't begin to tell you guys how saturated all of these Juvia's Place palettes are. It's like you just barely have to dip your brush into there, and then you just, you've created a gorgeous look. So above all of these others, and believe me, I love all of these others, above all of these others, this one from Juvia's Place and the Douce palette is the one that I will reach for again and again and again. So that's it, you guys. Number one palette that I would recommend for spring and summer. I think it's just a beautiful palette. All these palettes are gorgeous, beautiful palettes. I hope that you guys did enjoy this video and the few swatches that I did. But I wanted to show you guys just a sampling of what comes out of them. So I hope that you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help me, and I appreciate it. Please consider subscribing if you're not already. Everybody, please have a wonderful week or weekend, and I will see you guys all in my very next video. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Bye.